Hey, what's up guys? Tugi here, back again, this time with something a little bit different. Today we have a one-year challenge on our hands featuring perhaps the best pun to be seen on this channel, well, since the Seattle Sea Cattle. We're on a bit of a roll here lately. The King Clancy Memorial Trophy is awarded every season to the NHL player who demonstrates leadership qualities on and off the ice and who has made exceptional humanitarian contributions in the community. Each NHL team nominates a representative for their club, or in case of the Canucks this year, 2 representatives before a winner is named. So that brings us to today's challenge. Thanks to Steve for the idea, by the way. What would happen if we built the team out of the nominees? Could their unrivaled leadership qualities result in a Stanley Cup win? Well, we're going to find out. Now, yes, I know we're using another Atlantic Division team, but King Clancy was known for his time with both the Ottawa Senators and the Toronto Maple Leafs, and of course, we already have an ongoing Ottawa series. So with that said, let's take a look at the team, shall we? This is the team, again, that we will hope can lead us to victory here in this one-year challenge. The top line, Daniel, Henrik, and Tyler Seguin. Extremely excited to see what this, this is an all-star level line right there. I'm excited to see what they can do. The second line consists of Anders Lee, Ryan Getzlaf, and Brendan Gallagher. Third line of Gabriel Landeskog, Ryan Nugent-Hopkins, and Jason Zucker. Fourth line, Justin Advocator, Chris Tierney, and Ryan Callahan. Offensively, it's good. Maybe not all-star team level of good, but it's good. That brings me to the defense, which is all-star caliber. Oliver Ekman-Larsson and Drew Doughty are the top pairing heading into the season. Duncan Keith and Alex Pietrangelo are the second pairing. And the third pairing we have Zdeno Chara and PK Subban, because why wouldn't I? Why wouldn't that be the third pair? I'm tempted to make it the top pairing. We move on to the goaltenders, Sergei Bobrovsky and Henrik Lundqvist. We have no healthy scratches. As far as the settings go, I've pretty much turned everything off. Computer trading, waivers, everything. We're just going to be able to blast through this season, so it should go fairly quickly. Turned off the scouting alert, all of that, so we're going to be able to make some pretty quick progress. Now, obviously, there are some players missing that we've had to put down in the AHL. That being Toronto's own nominee, Matt Martin. We also have Matt Hendricks. And, of course, we had quite a few defensemen. So, Mark Borowiecki and Brooks Orpik find themselves on the fourth line for this sim. On defense, though, it's equally ridiculous. Shane Gostisbehere and Justin Falk, Michael Matheson and Travis Hamonic, Derek Englund, and Zach Bogosian are your 6 defensemen. The goaltenders, Corey Schneider and Matt Murray. I'm not sure if this Marlies team, mainly because of the lack of offense, I'm not sure if they'll be able to win 50 games, but they should at least be a playoff team off the will of their goaltending and defense alone. It should be pretty good. Now, with all of that said, let's get into it. Let's sim this season. Can this team find a way to win? Again, will their unrivaled leadership qualities lead to success in a one-year challenge? Can we walk away with the Stanley Cup? Now, I'm having to admit here, I fully expect us to make the playoffs, although knowing how this game sims, that might not happen. You never know. Stranger things have happened. And if we make the playoffs, I'm certainly going to be, we'll say, a bit pessimistic that we won't make it too far. I could easily see us being swept in the first round. I certainly hope not, but I could easily see that happening. So I think I'm more intrigued as far as the regular season sim goes by the Marlies. I can't help but feel that way. I just don't. I don't know. It's just a hunch. It's just a hunch that things are going to go poorly for us at the NHL level. At least once we get to the postseason. But as far as the AHL team goes, again, intrigued to see how they do. As I don't know. That was weird. I was having to point at the dog and tell her not to panic, because I think she saw a cat or a squirrel outside, and it worried the hell out of me. But we're good, damn it. We're good to go. So let's get back on track. And the good thing is, the good thing is the Marlies are in fact killing it, as I had a feeling they might. Like I said, you look at that goaltending tandem of Schneider and Murray, that alone should be enough to dominate the AHL. And then you look at that defense with Hamonic and Ghost Bear and Matheson. It's ridiculous. I am fully expecting us to have 2 teams to follow once we get to April. But for now, the Marlies aren't the team we have to worry about. The Leafs at 21-11 midway through December. So doing well. Perhaps not on the pace you may have expected them to be on with their defense and goaltending. Again, offensively very strong as well. Certainly not, as I said, all-star caliber, though. But it's looking like we'll be okay. 27 wins as we enter the new year. Welcome to 2018. It's January. Let's see what happens here. The closer to 40 wins we are by the end of January, the better. Although, you know, we are winning more games than we're losing, but if we dip any closer to 50-50 hockey, you have to wonder what our chances at a President's Trophy might be. That's the thing. I never know what to expect in these one-year challenges. I never know what to expect. And no, for the record, no, again, I didn't pick Toronto and with me saying, oh, yeah, we might get to the playoffs but losing the first round. It's not what I'm saying. It's not what I'm saying, all right? And if you were with me on Twitch after Game 7, or if you've watched the hour-and-a-half marathon that I put up, you would know I didn't take that many shots at Toronto, because why would I? I predicted them to win in 6. But we don't have to talk about that, Leafs fans, unless you're one of the people who are criticizing Jake Gardiner to a ridiculous extent, in which case, kick rocks. But anyway, trade deadline day is almost here. 45 wins for the Marlies. Will they hit 60? Not thinking so, but they are going to hit 50 wins, which is pretty impressive, again, given their lack of offense. I'm actually really intrigued to see how well the forwards did. And I'm really intrigued to see how well somebody like a Borowiecki or a Matt Martin happened to do for their teams. And, of course, the main team now up to 42 wins after beating the Florida Panthers on deadline day. So right now we are absolutely in contention for the President's Trophy. It's just whether or not we can keep up our winning ways. And so far, at least for what we can see at the end of March into April, trading wins and losses a bit more than I would have preferred. If you've been a regular on my channel, as a case in point, we've lost 4 in a row. If you've been a regular on my channel, you would know my teams, for some reason, have a tendency to just absolutely fall off a cliff in March, which, yeah, so I'm not surprised by the lack of success. But we have 2 games left to go. We are no longer on pace for 50 wins. The overtime losses could be helpful. Not expecting a President's Trophy there. But the Marlies have won 60 games. Make that 62, which is absolutely mind-boggling to me. But I will already give all the props in the world to Corey Schneider and Matt Murray. We do actually win the conference, though. The overtime losses did help. 108 points. We have taken the Eastern Conference. That is shocking. The division was a little bit weak. Detroit makes it in. Boston was nothing without Zdeno Chara. That is hauntingly real. And we did, in fact, finish with the best record in the NHL. Those overtime losses definitely saved us. So, case in point, don't disrespect the pity point. We tied with the Flyers. The Flyers, 108 points without Ghost Bear. Also quite surprising. Let's go ahead and take a look at the stats for both the NHL and the AHL team before getting ready for the playoffs. So, Daniel Sedin, 29 goals, 34 assists. Not too bad. Henrik, of course, more of a playmaker with 41 points, which that's actually kind of low. Daniel, I'm all right with that point total. It's actually a little bit low for Henrik. I was expecting more assists. Tyler Seguin, though, 29 goals, 44 helpers, a plus 24, 301 shots taken. So Seguin did lead the team in points. I'm just a little bit surprised at the Sedin's point production. We move on to the second line. Anders Lee puts up 53 points this season. He was a plus 28. Ryan Getzlaf as well, a plus 28, 22 goals and 41 assists. Brendan Gallagher, 25 goals, 19 helpers. He was a plus 21. Again, a little bit disappointed in Gallagher's point total, but as I always say, heading into the postseason, some underperforming players, if they really find their game, we're just going to walk it. So I'm hoping that that is the case, especially for Landeskog. 26 points for a third-line Landeskog. Not ideal, and was only a +1. Okay, and wow. Nugent Hopkins, 30 points. He was a -2. This third line did not gel well together at all. Jason Zucker, 9 goals, 26 helpers, even on the plus-minus scale. That is not ideal. That third line really struggled. We move over to the fourth line, though. Wow. 16 points for Abdelkader, 1 goal. His best Riley Sheahan impression. Fourth line center was Chris Tierney, 10 goals, 16 assists. And then Ryan Callahan with 12 goals and 18 assists. So the bottom 6 actually struggled more than I thought they would. Despite that, though, of course, we finished as President's Trophy winners, so I'm hopeful for the playoffs. On defense, OEL with 41 points. He was a +17. Drew Doughty, 11 goals, 25 assists, a +14. So I'm a little bit surprised at this. I thought we'd see some better numbers, particularly on defense. Duncan Keith with 10 goals, 31 assists. He was a +12, particularly with plus-minus, I should say, in terms of our defensemen. 7 goals, 35 assists for Pietrangelo. Chara with 8 points. He was a +26. PK with 40 points. He was a +25. The goaltender was Sergei Bobrovsky, who didn't really do that well. Wow. 65 appearances, 37 wins, but only a .917 save percentage. That's good, but not great. Like you'd kind of expect Sergei Bobrovsky to be capable of. 7 shutouts, a .227 GAA, and Hank, 19 appearances, 12 wins, 5 shutouts, and a .920 save percentage. So Lundqvist did all right in his limited appearances. Down in the AHL, Matt Murray killed it with a .932 save percentage and a .930 for Schneider. So as you would expect, for the 60-plus win Marlies, goaltending was a major factor for them. I want to look at the defense first, and that explains it. That's not what I was expecting for NHL level, but yeah, wow. Shane Gostisbehere, 15 goals, 62 assists, a +43. Justin Falk, oh my God. Now, I shouldn't be surprised. Again, it's really a top 2 caliber defenseman playing in the AHL. 33 goals, 33 assists, a +60. That is ridiculous. Second pairing, Michael Matheson, strong numbers, 17 goals, 18 assists, a +51. Travis Hamonic with 38 points. He was a +45. Englund, 9 points, not too bad, a +16. And Zach Bogosian, 27 points, a +25. So, I mean, without a doubt, Falk and Ghost Bear just had a field day at the AHL level. And as far as the forwards go, Matt Martin, 38 points, a +32, not too bad. Colin Greening, who we don't have to worry about, he wasn't actually a member of this team, although I did want to look at Kasperi Kapanen's numbers. Matt Hendricks was a nominee, 16 goals, 32 helpers, a +47. That brings us over to Brooks Orpik, who put up 25 points as a fourth-line forward. Ridiculous. And Borowiecki with 19 points. He was a +12. So there you have the numbers for both the NHL and AHL squads. I'm a little bit disappointed in some of the production amongst our NHL players at the AHL level, though. No complaints heading into the postseason. And go figure, it couldn't happen any other way. The 2 teams King Clancy is commonly associated with will meet in the first round, Ottawa and Toronto. So let's take a look at the Sens lineup. Now again, without computer trades on, without the salary cap on, you're really not going to see much different as far as what you'd expect with the teams, but we will still take a look as Hoffman, Duchesne, and Stone is the top line, Dzingel, Pajot, Bobby Ryan, Magnus Pajärvi, Zach Smith, and Marian Gaborik, Blunden, Pyatt, and Burrows. On defense, Cody Ceci and Erik Karlsson, Frederick Claesson and Chris Weidman, Thomas Chabot, and Ben Harper. The goaltender is Craig Anderson, with Condon as the backup, and Josh Olivo is the guy that we moved over to their team so that we could get Borowiecki on to ours. So let's do this. Ottawa and Toronto. The Sens back in the playoffs. Again, I'm a little bit surprised to have seen the standings played out, to have seen them play out the way that they did it is a little bit surprising. The Marlies will play the Syracuse Crunch in the first round. So let's go ahead and sim the first 3 games of this series. We lose game 1 3-1. We win 6-3 in game 2, but then lose game 3 3-2. I said I was worried about our first round performance here. So far, not so good. As we drop 2 out of the first 3, the Marlies, though, are 1 win away from beating the Syracuse Crunch. Of course, it's a best of 5 in the AHL. So let's sim game 4 for both teams. The Leafs get the win 6-1 to even up this series, and the Marlies dispatch of the Crunch in 4 games. So let's sim game 5. A huge game 5, and it's a 2-1 loss. We are 1 loss away from losing in the first round. I hate to say I told you so with the way this sims. Oh my god. Do I go in-depth sim for this? Because otherwise this experiment's ending much sooner than I was hoping. Let's go in-depth with this. Game 6. Leafs and Sens. We are in huge trouble here. Let's see what we can do, though. First period, Zach Smith has the lone goal of the game thus far. Second period is scoreless. Craig Anderson might pull off another miracle here. We are 20 minutes away from potentially being eliminated, despite having the team made up of, again, all of the King Clancy Award nominees. And what a team it is. But with the way this game sims, are they going to fall short? Henrik Sedin potentially keeps the season alive. At least gives us a little bit of hope. At least gives the Leafs a little bit of hope as we're going to overtime in Game 6. Shocking. Let's do this. Let's not hype it up anymore. I'm honestly a little bit salty at the fact that we didn't just walk the Sens. And thank God we get the win. Nuge with the goal. We're going to Game 7. So it's not done yet. Talk about leadership and perseverance. Well, thankfully, Nugent Hopkins appears to be the right nominee for the Edmonton Oilers, as the Marlies will play the Utica Comets in the next round, and they dropped Game 1. Game 7, though, is our focus. Will this team fall flat in the first round after winning the President's Trophy? First period sim is awful for us. Mike Hoffman with 2 goals. That is not ideal, to say the least. Second period, we get one back. Drew Doughty with the goal. But again, we find ourselves trailing by a goal, heading in to the final 20 minutes of regulation. Ottawa wastes a power play chance, and of course, we didn't have too much time to take advantage of that. We do have a power play opportunity here. Can we take advantage of it? We cannot. 6 minutes to go. Are the Clancy Award nominees? Will the leadership fail? It will. The worst disaster since the Titanic. The leadership hits the iceberg. And we're out in the first round. Getzlaf, Doughty, just everybody, the Sedins, Tyler Seguin, they all just disappear in the playoffs. It's over. One and done. Nothing else to see here, folks. The team completely collapses in the first round, losing to the Sens in 6 games. Daniel at least was a point-a-game player. Henrik continued to struggle. Tyler Seguin had 5 points. That's not too bad. Anders Lee, 2 points in 7 games. I think I said in 6 games. Point-a-game player for Daniel. He wasn't. 6 points in 7 games. I'm distraught right now. You'll have to forgive me. I cannot believe this has happened. 3 points for Getzlaf. Gallagher disappeared. He's a ghost. We might as well have called up Matt Martin. Oh my God. Landeskog with 3 points. RNH did everything he can. Nuge did everything he could with the 4 goals to keep us in this, including scoring the Game 6 winner in overtime. Zucker didn't do much. Despite the leadership qualities, nobody could step up in the postseason, and we have fallen short. OEL and Doughty struggled, at least in terms of the plus-minus. The point total happened to be okay. I have to wonder, what was the save percentage for Sergei Bobrovsky? He was okay. Like, that's a good regular season number, good playoff number. It's just kind of average. Wow. We fall short. The leadership again, sinks 2 seconds after leaving the harbor. Oh my God. Wow. All right. Well, I guess we'll still follow along with the Marlies. There are some members of said leadership on this team. I'm not just going to send down all of the top players. We'll give an opportunity to those who have been there all season long, as they are moving on to round 3 after defeating the Utica Comets in 6. They'll be taking on the Lehigh Valley Phantoms in the 3rd round in the conference final. So they split the first 2 games and then win 3 straight after dropping the first, so they are up 3-1. We'll sim games 5 and 6 if needed, and we are going to game 7. The Phantoms bounce back and win 2 straight, 7-2 and 3-2. Is the season over for the Marlies? It is! It is. Is the Toronto franchise cursed? Is it just the way the sim engine works? I have no idea anymore. But the Leafs lose in round 1 and the Marlies lose in game 7 of the conference final after having a 3-1 lead. It's the Capitals and Sens in the Eastern Conference final. The Western Conference final, Winnipeg swept St. Louis. We might as well see who wins the cup, right? We might as well. It's either Winnipeg against Washington or Winnipeg against Ottawa, and apparently removing Mark Borowiecki from the equation is good enough to get the Sens to the conference final. However, they lost to Washington, who end up defeating the Winnipeg Jets in the final. So there you have it. What happens when you put all of the members of the King Clancy Memorial Trophy nominees on one team? Alex Ovechkin wins the Stanley Cup. That's what happens.